Hey everybody, my name is Carmen Shank and I'm the Tiny House Foodie, and I'm here in my Tiny House Foodie kitchen to talk to you today about adaptability and creativity. These are the keys to contentment in tiny house living, and that's why I want to talk to you about them. We have this kind of screwy idea of what need is in our culture. We make our lists about those things we need based on the things we're used to having. That's not really the same thing as a need. If you're used to having it around, that doesn't mean that you need it. I know that's a mindset shift for a lot of people, but it's true. It doesn't necessarily mean that you actually need it just because you're used to having it. So how do you change what you need? You change what you're used to. When you change what you're used to, it changes what you need. And the best part about that is that it's so incredibly liberating to need less. Less to care for, less to clean, and less to pay for. Ha! That's the liberation right there. You can actually enjoy all the contentment of life and liberty without having the big, big bill. It happens up here, and it's about contentment. So let me show you how I used my adaptability and creativity to change the way I make a cake. And this week I made a cake for a friend's wedding shower, and I really took a different approach than I have in the past when I had the big kitchen to spread out in. This was very different, but I think that we can agree that the result was pretty good. So stick around, there's more great information coming your way. Hi everybody, back again to talk about creativity and adaptability. I'm doing a wedding cake, and I, somewhere along the line, downsized all my wedding cake pans. So they are out of here. Those things are space hogs anyway. And as it turns out, I have friends who have cake pans, and in some situations, if you don't have something and don't know somebody who has it, you can still rent it. You don't actually have to own it in order to be able to use it. The best part of tiny house living is I can bring something in here, use it, and get it back out of here, which is so liberating. I love that part of tiny house living. So sometimes it's even good to borrow a kitchen. And in the case of baking this wedding cake, I borrowed a kitchen. Now, I've done this a number of times, and each time I've done this, and in the years that we've lived tiny, I've done this, I don't know, maybe 3 times. But the beauty of it has always been, I've got friends with these marvelous kitchens, and hanging out with somebody else in their kitchen and cooking great food and baking or whatever it is, the project that you need to do, is a way to experience community, which brings people closer together. People love being together and hanging out and cooking and eating. So actually not having the big kitchen myself has made it possible for me to connect with other people in a way that's very practical and very satisfying. So I don't need to have it in my house. I don't need to own it. I don't need to clean it. I don't need to pay for it. I can borrow or rent. And that's all about adaptability and creativity. And it's important to remember what we need is based on what we're used to having, but when you change what you're used to, it changes what we need. And that's where it becomes absolutely liberating to live in a tiny space, to only have to clean and care for a tiny space, and to only have to pay for a beautiful, clean, tiny space. So let's get on the road and show you that cake pan free cake. Well, it's not entirely cake pan free, but the biggest cake I did without a cake pan with sides on it, and it actually worked out really well. So remember to be adaptable and creative. These are aspects of living in a tiny house that will really, really make it much, much more fun. Carmen Shank, the Tiny House Foodie, reminding you that we can live tiny, enjoy simplicity, and eat really well. You may not be sure that you can live tiny, but I know you can. I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.